last night we had a panel on whole food plant-based diets. There's a lot of great whole food plant-based speakers, and a lot of us are feeling like, look, we're vegan. We're eating beans, we're eating grains, whole grains, quinoa, millet, amaranth, teff, buckwheat, wild rice. We're eating vegetables. We're heroes. We're the most extreme people we know. We're healthier than anyone. And so the question is, are you saying, actually, you're suggesting we go further and that the beans and the whole grains are sprouted before we eat them, and that we take clover, onion, garlic, cress, alfalfa seeds and sprout them? Are you saying that being a whole food plant-based diet is not enough, that we have to go further and eat a raw diet? I mean, what it seems like the other speakers are saying whole food plant-based offers you so much benefits. Why do we have to go even further and say sprout the beans, sprout the whole grains, sprout all those alfalfa clover-looking things? Why do we have to go further? Isn't it enough if we're eating a whole food plant-based organic diet with non-glutinous grains? Like, why do we have to go further and be eat it raw?
I don't want to monopolize this, but I can't hold myself back. Most of my colleagues who I love and respect, and we're not at war, we're the army of love that I hope more people join. And I have enormous respect, and we all have different placements in this army. And some people are ready to listen to moderate considerations today. Some people really want maximum considerations today. So as we sit together, you're given that offering. But here's what we know. I don't know one of these people who don't consider themselves an environmentalist. Well, if you consider yourself an environmentalist and you're not taking 1 pound of seed and producing 10 pounds of food, you're not really an environmentalist. And that's what we're talking about. The average increase is 10 times when you sprout something. Number 2, one of my colleagues and friends, the most brilliant guy on the planet Earth when it comes to phytochemicals and nutrients, Dr. David Williams, Linus Pauling Institute, shows us that, by the way, that sprouts by far, hands down, no question, out of everything, vegetables that were grown in California, and here in New York you're eating them 5 weeks later. Sprouts that are growing at the time, you put them in your mouth and they burst energy out, have significantly higher amounts, significantly, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 times more of these phytochemicals that are medicines. Anti-aging, anti-cancer, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-parasitic medicines in them. So that's number 2. So environmental factors, health factors, and how about starvation factors? I had the great privilege in my life to work under the Sadat government in Egypt. I was in Israel teaching back in the 70s, and they said, you come over and teach in the United Nations. And I felt, a little egocentric at the time, almost like Christ-like, because we were ordering 100-pound bags of grains for less than $3, $2 and some cents each, and producing 1,000 pounds of food in villages where people were hungry. And God forbid we have starving people. When we're throwing away in the United States alone, $3 million of grain a day to keep artificially low prices. If you just took those grains, you could feed hungry people worldwide, period. We don't need any more food. We have more food. We throw away in North America 40% of the food we're served. We throw it away because we're arrogant and we're greedy and we're out of touch. So thank God my colleagues are at places of moderation for people who are coming into this, as I was at one point. If I heard Brian Clement 50 years ago, I would walk out the room. I'd say, this guy's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. You mean to tell me I don't even know what a sprout was 50 years ago? Now I'm an expert in sprouts. Green juice, if I saw green juice, I assured you I would have gagged and upchuck. I wouldn't even have had to get it to my mouth. Would have gagged and upchuck. Because I used to look at parsley and gag and upchuck. So I get it. I'm not here to say, no, we know everything. We don't know everything. But we know a shitload. Because no one else has 62 years of experience and worked with hundreds of thousands of people that, in fact, are the sickest people in the world. After they've done moderate things and it failed, they come to us. And we do clinical research. We don't publish it. They're already after us. So what we do is invite any organization, and I do this worldwide now, legitimate organization to come and we will open up our research for you to publish a study. Because the day I tell people that what we do works, we won't be here anymore. I can tell you that right now. So we're not in the game of academic dueling. We're not in that game. Our job is to help people to help themselves, to give you tools that we've learned work, and to keep improving it. Keep improving it. And come and learn from Brenda and Joel and everyone else you've seen and everyone else that's here, because we all have something valuable. We learn something every single day from each other.
And John Hopkins did a big research about broccoli sprouts. I mean, out of the blue, that was like the most anti-cancer sprout ever. And they took monopoly. We couldn't even buy the seeds for a long time. And then they finally made a pill because they didn't think people were going to sprout the seeds. But lots of people, and you can buy broccoli sprouts in every store now. So it's a trend. You can buy sprouts. Like I went to Whole Foods and I bought a ton of sprouts and grains and beans that were sprouted. And it's a trend. You know, we might sound like we're really aggressive about it, but because we've worked with it for so many years, we've seen it, we've done it, and all of us are forerunners, but you're seeing it coming up in restaurants, in the stores. People are wanting this more and more, and it's coming. Even kelp, people are growing kelp now in the
Kelp
ocean
noodles.
up here. And people are
They need that.
realizing what amazing nourishment, chlorophyll, omega-3, and this stuff. So a lot of people are asking for this now. And it's because we've been talking about it and showing people. So, it takes years for things to be normal. But one day people will say, well, why didn't we ever think about it? So a seed, and not the grain and bean that I sprout, I actually break down protein to amino acid, fat to fatty acid, carb to simple sugar. This is baby food. We have a lot of our guests that comes and they have severe IBS or Crohn's and colitis. And they've been told you cannot eat any raw food. And I will tell them, you the first one that cannot eat our food if you think so. Because everybody can eat raw food. Actually, raw food, sprouts, is the only thing that will help to heal somebody with those gastrointestinal problems. So it's like totally opposite of what you've been told.
You saw the young man last night, 25 years with it. Not only did his stage 4 cancer go away on the raw food, but his colitis did.